Former Scotland striker Kris has been watching the game for us this afternoon. Would you say that's a hugely missed opportunity for them, losing to their biggest rivals for third spot, Kris?
Oh, I think when Steve Clarke probably goes away and watches the game back, I think that Scotland were in the game. They created chances, Hayley. They had some good opportunities, and maybe even they've been able to create more if that little bit of composure in the wide areas and take your time before delivering the ball into the box. But it just wasn't to be for Scotland today. As I said, you lose the game 2-0, but I touched on it before we went to the break there. The finish from Schick for the second goal. We've seen some unbelievable goals at Hampden over the years, but this has got to be right up there. I think it just took a note there, 49.7 yards to be precise.
Wow.
It was, but it's the decision making just before that. Take nothing away from that. It was a fantastic strike. But Jack Henry, he picks the ball up and he goes past one, and then he ends up having a shot. I think Stephen O'Donnell was his right hand side. He could just have slipped him in, and that's what I mean with that decision making. When you get into those, areas of the pitch where you can hurt the opposition, he decided to have a shot. It came back off the Czech Republic player and broke right into the Scotland's own half. And as I said, from there on in, Patrik Schick, the finish was sensational, to say the least.
Steve Clarke did make changes during this game. He brought on Che Adams as well at half-time. Do you expect there to be quite a few changes ahead of Friday and maybe see sort of two up front?
Well, I thought he would have started with the two today. I thought, that with the England game, he would probably have dropped one of the strikers and went a little bit more compact in that middle area because England are so strong in there. But, I think he surprised us all with his starting lineup today, Steve. And but we were positive. We were on the front foot when Che Adams came on. Lyndon Dykes had obviously, worked his socks off. He was, he put in some shift for the team once again. He had that little opportunity at the start of just towards the end of the first half as well. Had he taken that, we might have seen, a different performance for him as well. But Jack Henry had one that came off the bar as well. So there was a lot of positives to take there. But to go back to the two up front, as I said, I thought we'd have started with the two today. Che Adams definitely added something when he came on, even if it was him dropping it off, and then the longer ball was going to Lyndon Dykes. We were getting runners off of there, whether it was McGinn, Armstrong, but it just wasn't to be. Going to Wembley on Friday, I would be surprised if we go with two up front. But saying that, when you look at the second half performance, albeit we lost the game here today, it was more effective when we played two up. But we need to try and get something from England at Wembley on Friday now.
A couple of other points to ask you. Are you surprised we didn't see Billy Gilmour maybe being brought on just to sort of lift things, and do you expect to see him on Friday?
Well, he's definitely an option. I think Scott McTominay ended up going back to playing a back three as well. That might be something that I know Steve Clarke said at the top before the programme before the match at the top of our programme that he expected Kieran Tierney to be fit for Wembley on Friday. If that, if he doesn't make it, maybe Scott McTominay goes back in there because you're maybe looking for somebody to get on the ball and play out. I know it's on the other side, but that's exactly what Kieran Tierney does on the left-hand side. Scott McTominay can do that on the right. Then that might allow Billy Gilmour to come in there. But you've got to remember, Callum McGregor was left out the starting lineup today as well. We obviously lost Kieran Tierney, we lost Declan Gallagher before the match. There's options there for Steve Clarke, but I think whatever happens now on Friday, we need to go there, be positive. It's been such a long time, Hayley, since we've been to a major competition. Let's not get too down about it right now. We can still go there with confidence. We showed a lot of character even when we went 2-0 down. I've not touched on the first goal because that was a fantastic header as well, and Schick was the difference between the two today. But let's not get too down. Let's go to Wembley and with a little bit of positivity, and as I said, you never know what can happen.
Yeah, just going to finally end on that. Do you think they will really absolutely go there and now they have to give it a right go as opposed to kind of being the wounded animal?
Well, when you look at the group, it was always going to be difficult, I think, because the way Scotland have been, they were coming into the tournament, they'd lost 2 in 16. That's obviously, you've lost 3 in 17 now, but there was confidence, there was positivity around the Scotland squad, and I think we were all optimistic. I don't think there was much between the two teams today, as I said, but Czech Republic they took their opportunities and caused problems to Scotland, but Scotland showed that they can cause problems of their own, and they'll look to go to Wembley and do the exact same. I'm sure England will know they've been in a game. I don't think that yes, there was a lot of positives for Gareth Southgate and his men to take from the game against Croatia the other night there as well. But, can England be guilty? Yeah, they can. And I think that's one thing that Steve Clarke will look at it. You can get off the back of them. Croatia had a couple of opportunities herself. Yes, it was a positive result for England, but I don't think it was the all-singing, all-dancing performance that everybody's going on about from an England point of view as well. So Scotland can go there and cause a few problems. And if you can, you just never know. You can maybe nick one and hang on in there. But as I said, I'll finish it with it's important that we don't get too low. We'll go to Wembley with confidence.
Absolutely. That's how we'd like to finish that one up. We'll see you there. Thank you very much indeed, Kris.
Thank you.
So that was Kris in our Glasgow bureau. We can get more now from Hampden Park after Scotland lost their opener to the Czech Republic. We can cross live to our reporter, Luke Shanley. Luke, what's the mood like there?
Yeah, I was in the stadium and I think it's a mixture. There were positives in terms of the chances created, but disappointing in terms of the way we conceded the goals and also the timing as well. Not great, but Scotland, again, like they did against Luxembourg the other week ago, created plenty of chances, clear-cut chances, just not taking them, and that is a big frustration. It will be a positive, but I think people will question the team selection. Will be interesting to hear what Steve Clarke has to say coming up at the media conference shortly. My colleague Charles Patterson will be in there to ask the questions for Sky Sports. And I think when you look at it, was it maybe the changes a bit too late in terms of on the right? James Forrest certainly seemed to provide a bit of threat on that right-hand side when he came on for Stephen O'Donnell. But I think the frustration is, you look at the first goal, nobody pushing out, the cross comes in and the Schick wins the header, and then the second goal, yeah, it's a marvellous finish from where he's hit it, there's no doubt about that, but I was sitting right behind it and you could tell it was going in. I think David Marshall was in a different postcode. I think that is the big frustration there, but chances were created, they've not taken them, and it's simply the two harder games now to come with England and Croatia, and Scotland are going to have to win at least one of them and try and get a point in the other one, and that might get them through, but it's made it a whole lot tougher tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Just finally want to ask you, obviously, about changes that Steve Clarke could potentially make for Friday. Do you envisage quite a few then?
Well, if Kieran Tierney's okay, and we'll try and get an update on that, then you would imagine he would come in. And I think you also look at what he did at the start, at half-time, and he put on Adams instead of, he had taken off Ryan Christie. And I think that'll be the big question. Should he have gone with two up front from the start? Easy to say in hindsight, but certainly it did help Scotland early in that second half, although they did concede a couple of chances. They did have other chances after that. But when you're going to Wembley, maybe you have to be a bit more cautious. But Scotland now have to go and win at least one of their games, and that's the difficulty now. The cautious approach might not work. They might have to be pragmatic, but they're going to have to really have a go. And to be fair, they did create chances today. The frustration is we didn't take them and we conceded poor goals.
Luke, thank you very much. Yesterday that many Scotland fans hoped would end in celebration has turned into one to forget for the Tartan Army. Patrik Schick's header just before half-time put the Czechs ahead, much to the dismay of these onlookers. Oh, and things got worse as Schick grabbed his second with that superb lob from the halfway mark to leave Scotland fans stunned. Disappointing afternoon in Glasgow, but those fans will have to pick themselves up because next is a trip to Wembley to face England.